Hi everyone, and welcome to the Green Room with myself, Laura Short, and my colleague.
Hello, it's me, John Mullins, the energy evangelist, whoever that is.
We're actually in the same room again this week, which is great to be back together recording some content for you all. And in the May edition of the Green Room, we're going to be looking at lighting in our wider brief of Save Energy, Save Money. It's something that we know everybody is really keen to do at the minute because money is tight and energy prices are going up. So anything that we can do to help our clients and customers, then it's all for the better. So lighting, obviously, it's a big part of the cost for any business, and we want to make sure that you get it right so that you're actually spending your money wisely and not wasting it on things that you don't need within your business. Yeah, so firstly, thinking about the type of lighting, obviously we're all encouraged to go with LEDs, which not only reduce the amount of wattage that's used, but they also don't give off any heat either. So it reduces the amount of cooling that you might need within a business. If, for example, you have a lot of lighting, then you might actually need air conditioning to counteract that. But with LEDs, they don't give off any heat. Yeah. So that's an extra bonus of those type of lights.
It's just simple little things like light or LED lighting, the bulbs, you can actually put your finger on it.
Yeah.
I won't say on every single one, so I'm not giving a carte blanche, yeah. But you should be able to put your fingers very, very close to it, and you should feel practically no heat whatsoever. So even for little tiny fingers like kids,
yeah.
Brilliant solution.
Absolutely. And then next is thinking about the positioning of the lighting. Quite often we'll go into an office setting and the lighting's obviously already been installed in just banks right down the room, but it then doesn't work for the configuration of the office underneath it. So you'll find staff are working at an off angle from the lighting, so then they need a desk lamp. Or it's not right for the task that they're actually working on at that time. So try, if you're able to, obviously this does tend to be in kind of new builds and special purposed offices, try and think about where the positioning of your staff and equipment is going to be before you actually then go and install the lighting, so that you don't end up with these kind of problems.
Or even just directional lighting, so that you get 4 lights on a strip, and then you can point them in whatever direction you want. Yeah. It all depends what you want the office to look like, but it's this whole thing that LED lighting will cost you 10% of the cost of old standard incandescent bulbs.
Yeah.
And it's just getting the right solutions, the right look, because with the different, you can get more blue lights, which are more towards natural daylight, or you can get more yellow lights, which are more towards what we've got used to for the evening's light. So when are you going to use the light? What are you going to use it for? Yeah. Blue light is always a lot better for doing fine detailed work. But you have to experiment. You have to ask questions.
Yeah. And especially in settings like factories or warehouses where you don't necessarily always need those high bay lights. They are incredibly inefficient, very high wattages generally if you're going for a halogen or a sodium bulb, which the older styles do tend to be. Obviously moving over to an LED is preferable, but actually think about whether you even need that light. I mean, quite often I've been in factories where the light itself is hidden by a gantry or a piece of equipment, and the person working underneath it never benefits from that light. So in that instance, take the bulb out and just have a task-based light. And the same goes for fluorescent tubes as well. If you do have, like John said, banks of 4, do you actually need 4? Could you take 2 bulbs out and still get the light level that's needed? And don't forget as well, with fluorescent tubes, if one is broken and not working anymore, it's actually still pulling from the grid. So make sure you take the bulb out. Don't just leave it in there even though it's off, because it's still pulling about 25% of what it would have pulled if it was on. So it's always worth taking those old bulbs out.
And in addition, LED fluorescent, or what most of us refer to as fluorescent tubes, the LED equivalent cannot be a straight swap.
Yeah.
You actually have to swap the unit because they don't need the guts inside, or what's called the ballast units inside. So it will be a cost to change them, but at the same time, you can get finance to install, say, in a warehouse or in an office block, and it can be very worthwhile. Both the savings and getting a professional to come in, make the assessment, getting the right solution for you.
Yeah, definitely. And talking about finance as well, it's always worth doing a bit of a cost benefit analysis if you're thinking of changing your lighting, as to whether you go for a complete refit in one go, or whether you do it on an ad hoc basis as and when bulbs give out, because quite often you'll find that it's actually cheaper and more cost effective to do a complete refit, so that all your bulbs are actually starting from the same point, so you can measure that half-life of those bulbs, excuse me, and actually get more efficiency from them. Whereas if you use an ad hoc basis and only replace as and when needed, you're not able to measure the same amount. So it's always worth just comparing what's best for your business.
Yeah. Lots of ideas.
Yeah. So that's all we want to give you today in terms of ideas for lighting, and we hope you'll join us again soon. Bye.
Bye.